Just waiting for the button to start. There we go. All right. So good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back from lunch. I hope everybody had a good meal. Grab whatever food you could, right? We're going to go ahead and get started with the Across the Curriculum student panel today. I think we're waiting on at least one or two more folks to get here. Just trying to see who's here, who's not here, who's waiting. For our student panelists, if you guys would be able to turn your cameras on, that'd be really awesome. If not, we understand completely.
They're accustomed to listening to lectures that way.
I know, yeah. There we go. Thank you, Dominic. Thanks, Josh. Hey, guys. All right. Hi, Ashley.
Hi.
All right. Welcome in, everybody. So we'll go ahead and introduce ourselves here for the student panel. I guess I'll start. My name is Brian Berger. I am a chemistry instructor and distance education faculty fellow here at Alvin Community College. I have the pleasure to be joined by my colleague up in the upper corner.
Ernest Burnett, hello. How's everybody doing? Nice to meet you. I'm trying to see where any of you in my class, maybe not, but I'm waiting on you though. I'm a speech faculty here. I'm speech faculty here. That probably just discouraged you right there, right? Speech faculty and liaison for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So happy to have you all here. Your voice really matters to us here at ACC. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, guys. I've actually had the pleasure of having our three student panelists in my classes in the previous semester. So if you guys would like to introduce yourselves, we'll go ladies first.
Hi, I'm Ashley Hoffman.
Hi, I'm Joshua. I took chemistry 1412 with Professor Berger last semester.
Hello, I'm Dominic DeLeon. I also took chemistry with Professor Berger, and this is my third year at ACC.
All right. And I also taught Ashley chemistry as well, but I taught her introductory chemistry. So if they took my class, speech shouldn't be too bad, right? We have any other student panelists that are in the audience right now, or any of our other student panelists in the audience right now? I'm looking real quick, just doing a quick scroll. I don't see any of our other panelists in the scroll. So what we're going to do is Dr. Burnett and I have prepared a series of questions for our students. We're going to ask them kind of back and forth. And then as the talk goes on, if you guys have any additional questions in the audience, please feel free to add them to the chat box, and we'll go from there. So Dr. Burnett and I were kind of going back and forth who gets the first question, and he told me to take the odd numbers, and so I guess I have the first question then. So Ashley, Dominic, and Joshua, when you guys hear the terms diversity, equality, diversity, equity, and inclusion, what do those terms mean to you?
Well, I think it means people from different backgrounds and with different experiences. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it also includes, when I hear inclusion, I think of like varying abilities. Mm-hmm. So whether that's like academic abilities and things like that.
Okay.
To me, I think it means like accepting and like recognizing each other's differences in a way that like cultivates this like positive environment where like people are not afraid to be themselves. So yeah.
Excellent.
Did any of you want to elaborate on your definition of what diversity, equity, and inclusion mean? But you're gonna stick with what you have? You good? You good with that? Okay, all righty. Well, it's kind of interesting that you all responded that way because SAC CLC defines diversity, equity, and inclusion similar to everything that you all said. So I'm not going to read their definition, but I'm going to ask you the second question. So the second question is, as a student here at ACC, are you aware of any organizations promoting DEI? If so, which organizations are you currently involved in, or have you been involved in any of these organizations within the past? In the past.
The only organization I'm familiar with is the Alliance or the Pride Alliance at ACC, but I'm not a member. I just know about it.
Mm-hmm.
I know of the Student Center. I know that I get emails all the time about like celebrating, you know, Latin American heritage, and I know it's like Black History Month now, and there's a lot of things that I think they do a really good job keeping that communication going and keeping that conversation going. I'm not super involved currently in that, but like I do appreciate that they are sending, you know, actively emailing the student body.
Hmm.
Although I'm not really involved in this, I know that my history professor, Professor Fuller, she told me about like this DEI initiative at the library where they're like adding like a whole like LGBT and like African American literature section. So yeah.
All right, awesome. Thank you, guys. Are there any other organizations that you let's see. Oh, sorry, let me ask the question correctly. Sorry, guys. What are some extracurricular activities that you would like to see on campus that are related to DEI? Or what are some other current extracurricular activities that are currently offered at ACC that you want to see promote DEI more as a part of the organization's mission?
I personally don't know about any groups, and I don't know of any. I don't know if I would like if I could make one. I don't know what I would do.
Okay.
I feel like this question really stumps me because I'm not sure. I don't know what I would want to see, but I mean, obviously, I'm totally open and would love to see more. I think just like the one kind of takeaway I hear from this is like all spaces, you know, where there's like someone in a position of authority, like they need to have voices of color and voices of different you know, gender identities, different, like we need that diversity to be in all the places where there's leadership happening. So I feel like just whatever the extracurricular activity is, I don't know, I felt like just that representation is what you know, matters to me.
Did everybody respond to that?
Everybody okay there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting that you mentioned that, Ashley, because our president is actually going to address students in the student center sometime at the end of the month or early next month. Someone who's listening can clarify the date for that.
February 28th.
Thank you so much. So February 28th. So this would be a great time for you all to come and sit down and chat with the president. Have any of you ever met our president? See, this is a great time for you to meet him. All right. So I'm at number 4, right?
Yes.
All right. So speaking specifically about diversity, the instructors that you've had at ACC thus far, do you believe that they make you feel mattered, that you feel matter to them as a student from the first day to the last day of the semester, no matter your background? Do you feel like you matter?
In my experience, I feel like I matter with my previous professors. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I agree with Dominic on that. Yeah.
I feel like specifically about diversity, this is probably a question that you know, doesn't apply to me, but I hope I hope that that's a yes.
Well, that's interesting. Can I follow up with a follow-up question with you, Ashley? So when you say,
Yes.
well, what do you mean by that?
Well, I'm not a person of color, so I feel like I don't know that that the instructors, like I don't think that applies to me necessarily. I could be wrong, but
Well, you definitely matter, and it's interesting that you would bring that up because that's normally the perception that comes from students like yourself. When you start hearing about DEI, one of the first things they hear when it comes to inclusion is exclusion. And so somehow or another, they don't believe that that applies to them, but you're definitely included in that process. Anybody on this call can interrupt us with any replies that you would like to ask the students or follow up or anything like that. So thank you so much for your honesty there, Ashley.
Definitely. Thank you guys. Thank you guys for, again, taking the time to be with us as well. I know I didn't initially say that as well. Each of our faculty members here at ACC wants to make sure that we provide a very inclusive and very welcoming environment in our courses. We encourage, conversations, meetings in our office. And I know I've met with all three of you guys in my office at least at one point in time. So I do appreciate, the conversations that each one of us have had, regarding our course materials, regarding, future plans, regarding funny cat jokes. Yes, we do those too. All that fun stuff. So we're all here to work with each other. And I definitely think this is a very important topic to talk about with DEI because it's something that we need to, acknowledge and recognize and be supportive of one another with. And again, we're also clearing up a lot of misconceptions too, because there are, it's a topic that we're, seeing and talking about, and we're trying to make sure that we have a good understanding. I mean, I'm still learning. I hope that I can continue to keep learning and growing, even when I'm, an old person on my last days. I want to continue to keep learning and growing as well. Excuse me. Allergies are just a pain. That's one thing we can all agree on. Allergies are just not fun, are they? Anyway, sorry, I'm battling all that fun stuff. I have question number 5. So kind of tying back to question number 4 a little bit. What are some classes that you guys have taken that emphasize DEI at ACC? And what are some classes that you have taken in the past that you hoped would talk more about DEI in their courses?
I previously at U of H I took a queer studies course. And, I did it for credit, but it was a really interesting course. And I don't think there was any disadvantages of taking the course. And it really just made you think about how some experiences you could never imagine happening to yourself, but other people go through it all the time.
I'm currently taking sociology right now, and I would say that's kind of unfair because it's so built into the curriculum, but I think that Professor Smith is doing a really good job with his material of just like hitting those really hard topics in just a very candid way. And I don't know, it's coming across really like constructive, and so I really appreciate that. And then something that I wish like we could see more of in the area of DEI would be like in the sciences. So, like taking the anatomy classes, I would love to see different bodies being represented. So I understand like why it was the way it was, but just in the textbook, it's all white bodies. And when you're learning about the integumentary system, I can figure it out, and I'll learn as I go. But those very first early days learning, it just sort of been really cool to see some of like different skin tones and different, just more different sizes and all that.
Okay.
Joshua, I'll let you go first, then we have a question from the audience. We'll let you go first, Joshua, okay?
Okay. Could you repeat the question again?
Yeah.
Sure.
Number 5, right?
Yeah.
Number 5. What are some classes that you've taken?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good. Sorry. We're all we're still working on this 2 years in, right? But what are some classes that you've taken that emphasize DEI at ACC? And what are some classes that you've taken in the past that you hope to talk more about DEI?
Okay, well, a class that to me emphasized DEI was like my History 1302 course last semester with Professor Fuller. Because I don't know, as a gay man, I felt represented because the professor like talked about like talked about the gay rights movement and like the AIDS crisis and stuff like that. Because when I took U.S. history in high school, I felt like that part of history wasn't really represented as much. So yeah.
I'd like to add on to what with Ashley was saying. I'm in anatomy and physiology too right now, and so far when we have anatomical models, you just see them as white. That's their skin.
All right, so thanks, Dominic. We do have a question from the audience. I'm sorry, I just saw the hand come up a little bit, so I'll go ahead and let you go ahead and respond. Trying to see the name on that one, but go ahead. You can go ahead.
I'm not
Sarah?
sure.
Say it
Hello?
again.
Rosalinda
Yes, ma'am.
Sarah?
Hi, Rosalinda.
Hi. I'm a professor of English at San Jack South. I actually was a former adjunct at ACC. But I had a question for students. One of the main things that we've been talking about a lot in our meetings is the fact that our faculty is not as diverse as our student population. How do you feel as students of ACC? Is the diversity clear there in the faculty?
I feel like, I mean, like I said earlier, like all places of leadership, I would love to see equal representation. So that's always like the goal. But with that being said, I've had an okay diverse, like I feel like it's been a very nice like range of professors. When I'm in the learning lab, it feels very diverse in there as well. Like I would say it feels nice at ACC.
I would also say it feels nice at ACC, but I've definitely seen more diversity at other schools.
Yeah, like, yeah, I agree with Ashley and Dominic. Like, yeah, ACC feels nice, but like I've also last year went to HCC and I've noticed more diversity there amongst the faculty.
I think your hand is still up. You have a follow-up? Oh, I just probably forgot to put her hand down, right? Okay. Okay, so I, all right, so I have, first of all, thank you all so much for your replies and responses to these questions. Do you feel like you're on the hot seat to a degree? We're just kidding.
Oh.
We really appreciate your honest responses. So how would you as a student, you probably did reply to this, but let's see, let's find out. How would you as a student recommend we as faculty have these sometimes uncomfortable conversations in the classroom about DEI? If you all have these discussions, do they feel uncomfortable or do you even have these discussions?
I feel like in the classroom, we rarely have these discussions about diversity.
Hmm.
So as far as how you would do it, how you would approach as a faculty, how you approach these difficult conversations, I would say, like as a mom, I feel like I kind of understand a little bit how difficult conversations go, where it's like if you're gonna have like an awkward sex talk with your kids, you just do it. You just have to be really honest. It just goes best. Be simple, be honest, like and I would say that for the more uncomfortable conversations that teachers are going to have with their students, like you're just going to have to like lean into the complexity and lean into the vulnerability of it, but still just be willing to speak, because saying nothing is so much worse, and it just gives power to the the darker sides of these conversations. So really just look in the face of the how awkward it could be, but just do it.
Yeah, I agree with what Ashley said, especially about her point about like not saying anything at all and how that could be detrimental. Yeah.
Definitely. Thank you, guys. For number 7, describe your experience working in groups in both face-to-face and online classes, and how has group work benefited in terms of you talking about race in the classroom?
In the classroom and online, I feel like groups are kind of rare, since COVID. And I don't know, I feel like we would just talk about the curriculum or what assignment we had to do.
For me, personally, again, it's the same with group work. It's kind of hit and miss with the, being COVID times and all. But, when you're in a group with other peers, you're sort of doing life together a little bit. So what I've found is it's not necessarily what's happening in the classroom where it's happening face to face right there. It's that you sort of got to peel back the layers of these other students just enough to kind of start conversation. And from there, I actually have had conversations. It's more about, getting together to get the work done. And that's where those conversations sort of happen. It happens later, but I think it also is an intentional thing. You have to want to kind of build into the lives of your peers in class. So, but you're always learning if you're in a group setting, I think.
Yeah, I have like this calculus study group, and like, yeah, and we mostly just like focus on like the content of the course. And I don't and we haven't really gotten comfortable with each other to the point where where we could like really talk about race in the classroom.
Thank you, guys.
All right. Okay, so number 8. Have you had any experiences in or outside of the classroom that have challenged or reaffirmed your view about DEI that you can recall?
So like I'm reading off of this. During my public school days, especially in 2015, I felt trapped and alone as a closeted homosexual. So reflecting on that experience has reaffirmed my view of DEI, because like looking back, if DEI was more emphasized back then and inclusivity was promoted, then I probably wouldn't have to deal with the emotional distress of having to deal with that like internal struggle. So yeah.
Um, I think outside of the classroom, I think like what's going on in current events has done a lot to challenge what I thought I knew, which has been really good. I've just been continuing to challenge myself and learn, specifically, and I don't know how this even applies to ACC, but just for myself, what has kind of helped me. I really appreciated like Emmanuel Acho's book. Like I'm trying to do some of that work on my own. Like there was this Seeing White series um, that was on Seen on Radio that was really good. To kind of learn about like race in America and diversity, things like that. Like anything to kind of give a clearer picture of history for me. My actually, when now that I think about it, just the history class I took at ACC was really great. I kept reading books on the side in addition to, because I'm going, no way. I think I had to have missed that in class. growing up or whatever. But listening to the experiences of people of color has been really constructive for me. But it's also, my job to do my own work, to continue learning in school and outside of school.
Yes, outside of school, I think it's really important for just to see representation in all forms.
All right, I've got number 9, guys. What are some obstacles such as things like scholarships, class choices, deciding a major, curriculum? What are some of those type of obstacles that you face that you guys have faced in your academic career in the areas of DEI?
I'm not sure if this is an area of DEI, but just for myself, like some obstacles have just been being home with my kids, just kind of struggling to kind of figure out, like taking that step to like empower myself to get an education. I was not raised that was important for me as a woman. It came much, much later, unfortunately. Realizing that like that is actually super valuable, that I am a good like example to my own daughters. Like I have 3 daughters, and then just for myself, my own self-worth. And there's a lot of backstory there, but those obstacles have been there for sure, as far as figuring out how far can I go now in life, like what can I make of my future.
Well, actually, what you just described is all of those things when it comes to diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, those are obstacles. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Dominique or Joshua, y'all have a reply to that question?
I don't know how academically it's related, but at my old school, U of H, they would have blood drives, but some gay people can't donate, so I couldn't participate in that.
You said you all could not?
Yeah. There's a in Texas they have like a blood requirement, and gays can't really participate.
Oh wow, I did not know that. How did that make you feel?
I don't know, mad at first because I'm just trying to help and donate blood, and like I don't have dirty blood or bad blood because of my sexuality or anything.
Are we going into
Last one, yeah.
Yeah, last one, okay. All right, so what message would you like to share with us faculty here, about how DEI emphasis in your classes impacts your learning? Was there anything you would like to share with the faculty here at ACC about that?
Could you repeat the question?
Yeah. What message would you like to share with faculty about how DEI emphasis in your classes impacts your learning?
So for me, I would say using DEI to make this campus a safe haven for students to express themselves relieves them of like some of their mental/emotional distress about like experiencing discrimination or being afraid of being discriminated, and allows them to learn and focus on the course content more. So yeah.
Right now, I work at a middle school, and what I see a lot of teachers doing are just adding some diversity and inclusion to their classrooms, like little, like tiny things. Well, they'll have like a pride sticker on their computer, or they'll have. I saw a cool one the other day. It was "Be kind to all kinds," and they had like a little flag in their pencil holder that said that. So it was just little things like that. I feel students will see and just become more comfortable in the classroom.
I think educators have just a huge responsibility, but also like an honor of being able to like normalize and help process some of these huge concepts that they've become so polarizing and so political for some. But I think that like as educators, it's really, really cool to be able to be the ones to, you know, not only kind of just, you know, have those conversations, but to empower students, like vulnerable students and all students. I know like for me, I've had amazing experiences with teachers here so far. Like ACC is really awesome. Whatever, you know, whatever y'all are doing, y'all need to keep doing it. Like just I guess like my message I would say to y'all is just keep doing the work on your own and keep learning, because like it is showing and like y'all are emphasizing it, and like we can see it as students. So great job.
We're glad to help, guys. We're always glad to, you know, support you guys, because we want to see you guys, you know, continue to grow in your education, because I think for many of us became educators because we were impassioned by someone that, you know, taught us. We were, you know, shown, you know, a certain, you know, passion for a subject or passion for students. And many of us try to continue on with that same passion in our classes, whether it's with our subject, whether it's with our students, whether it's with both. Hopefully it's with both. And we hope to continue to, you know, provide and support and be there for you guys as y'all continue, you know, growing as students and as people.
Yes, thank you all so much. And for your, and I don't know if you saw it in the chat, but for joining us today, we have some nice gift bag of goodies for you all because you were so kind enough to participate in this discussion with us. I'll get with Brian about that, and then he'll communicate with you all as to how you can get your gift bags here, courtesy of the Across the Curriculum Committee and ACC institution itself. So thank you all so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate it.
Okay.
I'll make sure to get in touch with you guys about what's going to happen next. But thank you guys so much for sharing everything. It's really been a pleasure to have you. It was a pleasure to have you guys in class last semester, and it's, you know, been a continued pleasure to, you know, still, you know, see all three of you guys, you know, in the hallways. So definitely keep up what you guys are doing, and you guys always know that we here at ACC, we're always here to help you guys out. We want to see you guys, you know, become shining stars.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah, thank you.
Oh, thank you guys for saying yes. Definitely. Any other questions before we head on to our next sessions, or? I guess not. I guess we're doing great here. All right. Well, thank you guys. I'll be in touch with y'all pretty soon. Sorry, I'm a little nasally and conjustified. The allergies are just hot, cold, hot, cold, hot, cold. Stop it. Yeah, can we agree with that? Got it. All right. Yay. Any questions for me, guys?
No.
No, thanks for asking us. This was fun.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
definitely. Thank you guys for saying yes. I really appreciate it. And I'm glad you guys were able to make it. I know it's kind of crazy. The weather's been a mess, and just, it's February. It's insane. It's wild. Y'all missing chemistry at all?
I loved chemistry. Chemistry.
I know you guys
was
did. That's why I'm
awesome.
asking it as a loaded question.
I
I know all three of you guys enjoyed the class. So,
Mhm.
well, the class you guys were in. So, yeah.
I like the
I
class.
miss having you guys. It was a lot of fun. I miss doing Gen Chem 2, Dominic and Josh. I'm not doing it this semester. And then Ashley, I miss having you in that class too. But I see you like 3 times a week anyway. So
Yeah, I'm always
keep that-
there.
I'll keep that lab door unlocked for you so you can get in there and go tutor those AMP students.
Yeah, sounds good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know this. Ashley does anatomy tutoring actually, so that's been pretty awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I don't know if we have any pure chemistry tutors though, so I'll have to check into that maybe. Are you up here, Natalie? No, Natalie's not. Diana's here though. Hey, Diana, while I've got you here,
Yes,
Do they
of
have any
course.
chemistry peer? Do y'all have a need for chemistry peer tutors?
Ah, you mean chemistry tutors? Do we have a need for them?
Like peer tutors, like student tutors, kind of like what y'all have for anatomy right
Send
now?
send me some information. Absolutely. We're always looking for tutors in the sciences. We're, you
Got
know,
it.
and
Well,
math
I've
as
got a couple
well.
folks on this. Or my 3 students that are here were all excellent students in my class. I would definitely recommend any one of them as a
Well,
tutor for either
that is
intro.
exciting. We would
Yeah.
love to talk to them. I'm not the decision maker, but I do know we're always looking for good tutors. And tutoring is a wonderful, wonderful job. I've done it myself. It's a way to grow your own skills while helping other people understand the subject matter and succeed in their classes. So yeah, very super rewarding. Thanks for asking, Brian.
Oh, no problem. I actually agree with that statement because when I first realized I wanted to get into teaching was tutoring a friend of mine in organic chemistry.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's where I got started with my, hey, I think I can make this a career and stuff.
yeah.
Of course, I had to go back to my 3rd grade self, and I realized that my 3rd grade self said, "What did you want to be when you grew up?" And it said, "I want to be a teacher." So I was like, "Oh, I guess 8-year-old Brian was pretty smart." Anyway,
It turns out, huh?
yeah, there we go.
Yes, absolutely. And what a wonderful way to get the word out to share the diversity that we've been talking about is to get more people in here that work with students, making those new students and existing students feel more welcome and more comfortable. So, we're
Definitely.
really grateful to all of the students here in this panel because I needed to hear this message.
Definitely, guys. You guys, what y'all are doing is important, and so remember that.
Yeah.
Thumbs upping, you guys. My screen's just not showing my thumb. It's like, no, my daughter did not eat my thumb yet, I promise. But she is walking now, so it's kind of scary.
Your life will never be the same.
Oh, no, it's not. No, when you see her start climbing stairs and you're like, oh, there we go.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Well, Ashley, you have experience with that. Yeah, just a little bit. Yeah, we'll chat. All right, thanks, guys. I'm going to go run off to another meeting, and let me get the recording off. That would be kind of helpful.